Islam Makhachev is staying at welterweight. Yeah, in a rare interview with MMA Fighting, he didn't hold back. He covered everything from future plans to upcoming matchups. When asked about the Topuria Oliveira fight, Islam called it a true 50-50th. He believes, if Ilya catches Charles clean, it will be lights out, but if the fight hits the ground, Islam said, it's an easy finish for Olivia, pointing out that Charles always shines against strikers, and in his eyes, El Matador is still very much a striker first. He also touched on a potential fight with Kamaru Usman, and this is where it got interesting. Islam made it clear he's genuinely interested in that matchup, not only that he confirmed his plans to stay at welterweight moving forward, saying there are massive fights waiting for him there. Now, regarding his lightweight title, Islam was asked if he was forced to vacate, and he gave a diplomatic answer. He claimed it was his decision because he didn't want to hold up the division. But here's the thing, we've heard him say before that he didn't want to vacate, so while he's framing it as his own call now, the situation seems a bit more complicated. Behind the scenes, either way, one thing's clear, Islam's future is at 170, and he's not looking back.
It depends, man. Who can follow his MMA, who can follow his game plan. If Charles can take him down, he can finish it easy, the ground, over. If Tapuria catch him, he gonna sleep, you know. And two options. Who is gonna make the game plan working? Chef, big chance, you know. And he always fight good against striking. We have good striking against Poirier, fight good against Chandler, fight good. Balls have good punch. Balls very good stand up. But if Charles has motions, if you give motions, he's gonna finish. That's right. Charles always dangerous. I will put 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. Yeah, that's fair.
Haru can also make weight, you know. If he make weight now and show people I can make weight, they have to be next.
In a recent interview, Charles Oliveira made it clear that this is the moment he has been waiting for. When he finally received the call, he said he didn't hesitate for a second, saying he knew it was coming, especially after the Chandler victory. For Charles, it was never about chasing Islam Makhachev specifically. Instead, his eyes were always on the belt. He put an end to any discussion that he was avoiding Islam by simply saying, if Islam still held the belt, that would be the fight. When asked about El Matador, Charles acknowledged that there are still concerns about how Topuria will adjust to lightweight. He knows firsthand how difficult it is to move up, and he's interested to see how Ilya handles the jump. However, now that Makhachev has advanced, Charles is focused on whoever is competing for the gold, and at the moment, that's Ilya Topuria. As for the betting odds being high in Ilya's favor, Charles says he isn't fazed, saying that people believe in whom they believe in, and those who ride with him know that his record speaks for itself. No one in the UFC has more finishes than Charles. Oliveira Ilya recently asserted that he would defeat Charles in the opening round, but Oliveira dismissed the allegation, stating that Ilya is free to think whatever he pleases. When it comes to fighting style, Charles isn't changing. He acknowledged El Matador's pressure and knockout power, but reminded everyone that he brings the same heat. He loves to stand and bang, and he expects nothing less than a war at International Fight Week 2 forward. Fighters are both dangerous and coming to make a statement, which is why the UFC booked it. Fans are excited after new footage of Conor McGregor punching a man at a party in Ibiza surfaced, and the entire MMA community went off on him. Frankly, no one is shocked anymore. Instead, they're just disappointed in a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Joe Rogan attacked McGregor, claiming that the Irish star had essentially destroyed himself. Rogan likened Conor's demise to that of another contentious MMA figure. Despite his controversies, Jon Jones and Conor have had enormous success in the UFC, but they have approached that success very differently. Jones rose to become the most dominant light heavyweight in history, before moving up and finishing in Stipe to prolong his reign. This is how Rogan explained Conor's demise.
John's in a different category.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, Conor self-destructed in a lot of ways because of money. You know, I mean, he took that fight with Floyd Mayweather, he made a ton of money off that, and then took a long time before he came back to MMA, and it's just not been the same guy since. And I think that's just, it's money, it's a lot of partying, but it's the same kind of thing. It's just a wild, but in his prime, when Conor was in his prime, he was fucking assassin. He was a fucking assassin. Your body can only compete at the highest levels for so long, which is one of the things that's so extraordinary about John.
When discussing Jones, Rogan praised him for his incredible talent and consistency, pointing out that aside from a DQ loss to Matt Hamill, John has never really been beaten. Here's what Rogan said. John is a special dude now that he's gone. We're all going to miss him. He's a different kind of guy. I mean, he's been at the top for 14 freaking years. He was the youngest guy to ever win a UFC title 23. Since then, it's just been destruction of everyone, Rogan said. Concurrently, McGregor, the most well-known figure in the sport, has not competed since suffering a broken leg against Dustin Poirier in 2021 and is currently on a to-right skid, according to a since-deleted tweet. With a retort, Conor said, "Shut up, Joe, you fool. Take classic Conor move, lash out, delete it, and keep the chaos going." Even though Conor and Jones have both experienced experiences outside of the cage, Jones has managed to preserve his legacy. The question now is for you MMA fans. What exactly caused Conor's decline to injury? The celebrity, the money, the distractions, or did he just lose the spark that first made him great? McGregor's ascent turned into a slow-motion plummet. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. In addition to pursuing gold, Ilia Topuria is already envisioning big fights outside of UFC 317, as he gets ready to compete against Olivia for the lightweight title. The Georgian made it apparent that he is still interested in his longtime rival, Paddy Pimble. Their feud is deep, and if Ilia defeats Oliveira, he wants to end it permanently with the title at stake. Elidor recently described his ideal situation. Paddy Pimble smokes Justin Gaethje, which causes his stock to soar, and then challenges Topuria for the title. This may seem unrealistic to some, but Ilia is serious because he knows that their animosity, personality conflicts, and large fan bases would make the fight extremely intense. Here's what Ilia said. "It's not that I don't like Justin Gaethje. In fact, I'm a huge fan of all of his fights, and really enjoy watching him fight. He throws and takes a lot of punches, so I think Paddy will easily defeat him due to his style." That's it from MMA Psycho. What do you think about fight fans? Do you agree with El Matador? Please share your opinion.